Hi Year 5, Miss Tellison here again with your second maths lesson of this week. As always, could you please ensure that you've got yourself a pencil and a piece of paper ready for our learning today? Now, the one thing I want to say is I've been so impressed with all the work you've been sending in from yesterday's lesson. Great job, guys. Make sure you keep up the hard work at home. I can see that you're really persevering, you're really thinking about the different chili challenges that you need to complete, so well done for that too. Now, before we get started, we're going to have a look at our leaderboards for TT Rockstars and for Maths Shed. So let's see who's made it onto there today. So the TT Rockstars leaderboard today is the number of correct answers whilst on TT Rockstars in the last 7 days. Now this is true at date of recording, which I have popped on the screen for you to see. So congratulations to Elliot P, Harry B and William F in 5T. Louis C, Lily B and Scarlett W in 5W, George P, Susie G and Katie Bo B in 5P, and Jackson B, Matty W and Esther M in 5E. A big shout out and mention to Louis C in 5W, who has gone over the 1,000 mark for correct answers in scoring 1,062. Fantastic, congratulations Louis. Next, on to the Maths Shed leaderboard. Today, I've looked at the leaderboard for class group score. So this is collectively all of your individual scores put together, working together as a family for your class. So we have got 5E in top position out of all Year 5 classes. Congratulations 5E. I think you'll agree that's a score to be very proud of. And the reason you've got a little silver rosette next to your class name is because you're actually second in the whole school. So congratulations for that. I'm going to give you all a Class Dojo point for family. Well done. I'm setting you all a challenge this week to see if you can work together as a French family to improve your class group score. Good luck. Now today, I'm not setting you a TT Rockstars challenge, but instead I'm going to ask you all to log into Numbots. There's a story mode or challenge mode for you to have a go at. What high score can you achieve and how many coins can you earn? Why don't you log on and give it a go? Okay then Year 5, so here is your starter task for today. A bit like we do in school for our morning starter task, I'd like you to use 8 as the number of the day to complete all of the following questions. So that's 8 times 10, 8 times 100, 8 add 25, 8 times 7, 8 squared, 8 cubed, etc. Can you find all the answers to all the questions on the screen now? Pause the video and give it a go. Welcome back. How'd you get on? Shall we go for the answers together? The answers are displayed on your screen now. Pause the video so you can mark your questions. Okay, well done if you got the same answers on the screen. There are a lot to work through there and some tricky questions too. So today we are going to be doing multiplication of 3 digits by 1 digit. So slightly similar to yesterday, but instead of a 2-digit by 1 digit, we've got the 3-digit number now instead. So we're still going to be using our multiplication facts, using our times table knowledge, and thinking about the digits in each number and the place value of them to line it up in the columns for our ladder method. But before we get started, this is going to help you out today. So if I know 7 times 4 equals 28, then I also know 70 times 4 is 280. Can you see how 28 and 280, the difference is that it's 10 times bigger, and you'll notice here that 7 and 70 have a difference of being 10 times bigger as well. So if I know 70 times 4 is 280, then I also know 700 times 4 is 2,800. So I would like you to pause the video now and have a go at the questions below. We've got 7 times 6, 70 times 6 and 700 times 6, 5 times 8, 50 times 8 and 500 times 8, 6 times 9, 60 times 9 and 600 times 9. Pause the video now and come back here afterwards for the answers. Okay, how did you get on? Shall we go for the answers? So the answers are on your screen now. We know that 7 times 6 is 42, so that means 70 times 6 is 420, 700 times 6 is 4,200. That also means that 5 times 8 is 40, so 50 times 8 is 400, 500 times 8 is 4,000. And then 6 times 9 we know is 54, so 60 times 9 is 540, and 600 times 9 is 5,400. Well done if you got those right at home. Okay, so here's a question. 243 times 6. How might you solve this question? I'd like you to pause the video and have a think about it. I'll give you a clue. It's a little bit like we did yesterday. Okay, so we could solve it using the ladder method. So just like I have here, we've laid out using our hundreds, tens and ones, 243 times by 6. And then underneath, we've worked through the different questions. So we've done 6 times 3 to break it down, then 6 times 4, then 6 times 2. But really, it's 6 times 40 and 6 times 200. Here you can see we've got 3 times 6, 40 times 6, and 200 times 6. What we've then done is added all of these calculations together to get our product, our total answer. So now that we've looked at this method, I think we need to create some steps to success to help us today with our learning. So, can you pause the video now and have a think about what our steps to success could be? Okay, let's see what I've got here. So we need to set it out in columns, multiply a single digit by the 1, so that would be 6 times 3 or the 3 times 6. Multiply a single digit by the tens, so that's 6 times 40 or 40 times 6. And then multiply the single digit by the hundreds, that's 6 times 200 or 200 times 6. Then I need to add up the totals. I also wrote a top tip. Write the calculations out in brackets to help you. Okay, so it's my turn now. Liam has been given this question in his homework. Can we help him to calculate the answer? 435 times by 3. Okay, I'm going to work this out on a whiteboard. Come and take a look. Okay, so the first question that Liam had was 435 times by 3. So I'm going to set that out. 435 times by 3. Thinking about my step success all the time. I've set it out in my columns and made sure I put my hundreds, tens and ones at the top to help me. Okay, so the second step success was to multiply the single digit by the ones. So I've got to do 3 times 5, and my top tip was to write it next to it on the side in brackets to help me. So 3 times 5, 5, 10, 15. So I'm going to put my answer in there, making sure I'm keeping it in my columns. Now, as you can see, I'm not using squared paper at home, so if you've not got squared paper either, just make sure you leave the gap and keep it all set out in those columns. Next question, and the next part of my step success was to multiply the single digit by the tens. So that's 3 times by 30, because it might be a 3 there, but it's in my tens column. So 3 times 30. I'm writing it in my brackets on the side as well to help me. So I know that 3 times 3 is 9, but it's not 3 times 3, it's 3 times 30, so it's 10 times bigger. I'm just using my known facts to help me. So 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 30 will be 90. So I'm again putting that in my place value columns to help me. Okay, moving on to my next part of the step success says multiply single digits by the hundreds. So I've now got 3 times 400. I've written that in the bracket on the side there to help me as well. Now again, I could do 3 times 4, 4, 8, 12. And then I've got to think, but actually, it's 100 times bigger. So that means I need to do my number like that. It's 100 times bigger. So I've got 1,200. Okay, the final step on my step success is to add up the totals. Now you'll notice, even though I didn't have a thousands column over here, I've imagined it's there and put my 1 out of the way rather than in my hundreds column as well. Okay, 5 add 0, adding them up now is 5. 1 add 9, add 0. Well, I know 1 and 9 makes 10 and then add the 0 makes nothing, but I've got to put my 0 here and carry the 1 over. Because really, if it makes 100, that 1 should be in the hundreds column. Now I've got 200s, got blanks here, 200s add 100, which makes 300. And then finally, the thousands that I had. So the answer I should have got is 1,305. Okay, now it's our turn. Here's another question. 528 times by 4. I'll give you a minute just to write down the question, setting it out in columns for the ladder method, just like I have. Okay, let's get started. So, the second part of our step of success was to multiply a single digit by the ones. Do you know which two numbers we've got to multiply together? That's right, we've got to do 4 times 8. Fantastic. 4 times 8. 8, 16, 24, 32. Did you get the same answer? Well done, fantastic work. Okay, what's the next part of my step of success? Pardon? Yes, you're absolutely right. We have to multiply the single digit by the tens. So now I'm doing 4 times 20. Brilliant work. Okay, so 4 times 20, that could be quite tricky, but I could use my known fact of 4 times 2, which I know is 8, and then I could just make it 10 times bigger, because 20 is 10 times bigger than 2. So 2 times 4, or 4 times 2, is 8. Make it 10 times bigger, that's 80. Okay, what do I do next? I think I might have to do the single digit by the hundreds. Do you agree, Year 5? Oh, fantastic, I'm so glad you do. So 4 times 500, because that's what I've got in my hundreds column. So again, I could just use the known fact of 5 times 4, which I know is 20, and then I could times it by 100 to make it, rather than 4 times 5, to make it 4 times 500. So I know the answer is going to be 2000. Okay, the final part of my step of success is to add up all of my totals to get the product for my question. So, start at my ones. 2, add 0, add 0. Absolutely right, it's 2. Into my tens now. We've got 3, add 8, add 0. Well, I know 3 and 8 make more than 100, so I know I'm going to have to carry. When I add the 30 and the 80 together, it's going to make a number larger than 100. So, let's think about it. I think the answer is 110. Would you agree? Fantastic. I'm going to carry the 100 over to my hundreds column. Now, in this column, I don't have anything apart from the one I've carried, so it's going to equal 1. And then again in my thousands column, I can see that I've only got the 2, so I haven't got to do any adding, I can just place the 2 there. So the answer to the question, 528 times by 4, is 2,112. Fantastic work, guys. Thank you for helping me out. This time round, it's your turn. The question I've written down for you to have a go at is 736 multiplied by 5. Pause the video now, copy the question down and give it a go. See how you get on. Welcome back. I had a go at working out the question too. This is the answer I got. Did you get the same as me? Fantastic. Well done, guys. I'm so proud of how hard you're working. Okay, let's have a look at your chili challenges. Now we've practiced the calculations together and you've given it a go at home as well, it's over to you now for your turn. Here's chili 1. You have 4 different questions on the screen that I would like you to complete. For 2 of the questions, I've given you place value charts to help you work out the answers. For the other 2 questions, I haven't. For all of these questions, I'd like you to write the questions down and calculate them using the ladder method that we've gone through today. Don't forget, you can always go back and see about how that should be laid out and how to do it in your books or on your piece of paper that you might have at home. Here's chili 2. For chili 2, you've also got 4 questions. For the first 2 questions, I'd like you to write them down and calculate them using the ladder method. For question 3 and 4, you will notice that you've got to answer the true or false question and prove it. And for question 4, you've got to spot any mistakes and explain the mistake that you have spotted. And finally, here is chili 3. For chili 3, Liam thinks he's solved the answer to his maths homework. Can you complete each calculation using the formal written ladder method that we've gone through today to identify whether he has made a mistake? Some of the questions on here might be correct, but Liam may have made some mistakes. Question 5 in particular is quite tricky. Be mindful that it has a decimal point in there. Can you also create a step to success to help Liam check through his answers? Pause the video and have a go. So we've come to the end of our lesson for today. I do hope you've enjoyed that. And remember, at any point, if you want to go back and look through today's lesson, then obviously you can to help with your learning. We'll be doing something quite similar tomorrow, but looking at a shorter method of multiplication instead. Take care and stay safe. See you soon.